Apparently the most beloved character of the digital circus turned out to be Jax, but that's far from the most important news of the day, cause totally out of nowhere, they dropped a trailer for the new episode, and let's be real, no one saw that coming.
Everyone gets gums! That's really all there is to it! It's the showdown of the century!
Century!
3 teams face off in a non-stop action-filled hootenanny that you won't want to miss!
I've been waiting for this my whole life!
Kaine, I don't think this is a good idea.
Yeah, I'm not sure this is really what we need right now.
Only one team will come out victorious in our longest episode yet. Over 33 minutes? Holy moly! You couldn't cut that down at all?
Making shows is really hard when you have a cast this big.
Wait, who is that?
Who am I? Well, I'm Mr. Gunn.
Not you, Mr. Gunn, the other voice.
Mr. Who?
I was supposed to be in this episode, but Kaine removed me for being too Gunn.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Are we just all in this trailer?
And I'm still here too, the episode 3 trailer narrator.
Why do these trailers have their own continuity?
So what are you waiting for? Buy your tickets today and come down to the biggest event in digital circus history!
Tickets not really for sale. You can watch the latest episode and all previous episodes of the amazing digital circus anytime at home or on the go on your computer book device. If you have any further questions or concerns, dial 888-1. Ask your permission or go help.
Be there or be rare!
Looks like the whole new adventure is going to take place right inside the circus itself, and the main goal will be for each team to take out as many opponents as possible. Every character gets 3 lives, and oh right, almost forgot, but the teams go like this. Kinger and Ragatha are in a team called Pew Pew. Zubul and Gangle are unmasked. And of course, the most badass name goes to Pomni and Jax, bad guys. We also found out the episode's going to be just over 33 minutes long, which is already insane news. From the looks of it, we're in for a lot of heavy-hitting scenes mixed with some real heartfelt and honest convos. And now that we know for sure Jax and Pomni are on the same team, I think during breaks between all the shooting, our main girl's finally gonna get the answer to that one question that's been bugging her the most since episode 5. And yeah, obviously we're talking about Ribbit. Honestly, I feel like that frog's gonna play a big role in episode 6, at least when it comes to revealing who Jax really is deep down. And with that in mind, I want to talk about a few key things that could totally happen in episode 6 when it comes to Ribbit. I already told you all about that mannequin that's been showing up in different episodes, and for a long time everyone just thought it was a little nod to Dr. Football from the pilot. But then came the very first teaser for episode 5, and boom, there it was again, that weird mannequin just standing there, totally out of place in the usual chaos of the digital circus. Still, at the time people brushed it off as another Dr. Football reference, or just a random background NPC like we've seen plenty of times before. Especially since in later teasers, he was nowhere to be found. So, yeah, everyone pretty much forgot about him. But right after episode 5 dropped, from the very first scenes it was crystal clear the mannequin suddenly matters. And that final scene, it basically confirmed all our suspicions. At this point, I'm straight up convinced that not only will we see more of that mannequin in the next episode, but we'll finally learn what he's really hiding. And here's the kicker. Wasn't it kinda weird how Goose just casually dropped a full concept art of this character? Sure, some might argue it's like what happened after episode 3 where we saw full art of that angel NPC, and no, that didn't mean he'd become a core part of the story. But there's a huge difference. That angel, already established NPC. With Ribbit, we didn't know Jack, just his face. Then suddenly Goose drops a full body design plus a complete emotion sheet? Come on, that ain't random. And if we keep that in mind and remember how Jax's entire storyline in episode 5 basically kicked off after Ribbit was brought up, and add the fact that episode 6 is supposedly Jax focused, then yeah, I really do think Ribbit might be that mannequin. It's important to understand that Kaine is literally all-powerful inside the digital circus. There are no real limits to what he can do within that world. He can manipulate the environment, the characters, even their thoughts. And most importantly, he has total control over the system itself, meaning he absolutely can bring someone back from being abstracted. After all, the characters in TADC are just digitized versions of real people's consciousness, trapped in some massive, ultra-advanced virtual system. And who holds all the admin rights? Right, Kaine. We've already seen this in action. In the pilot, he fully healed Ragatha after she got wrecked. In episodes 4 and 5, he literally hijacked her mind for laughs and even messed with Jax's brain to make him go vegan. So if he can do that, then bringing Ribbit back from abstraction? Totally possible. And this is where it gets wild. What if Ribbit's consciousness never left? What if Kaine didn't delete it but instead stored it, moved it into that weird mannequin we keep seeing? If we accept that theory, then episode 6 won't just be the Jax episode. It'll be the Ribbit comeback episode. We might finally hear his voice, see him move again. Maybe he's still trapped in that mannequin body, or maybe Kaine decides to give him back his original form. Either way, I'm convinced Ribbit is still alive, and we're gonna see him in episode 6. And what's really important to understand here is that, like I said before, episode 6 is mostly about Jax, and that matters a lot when it comes to Ribbit possibly showing up. If you remember how Jax reacts to even hearing his name, it's already clear they were truly close, and the fact that Jax became so withdrawn from everyone else only proves it. Ribbit was probably the only one Jax could be real and honest with. And now that we're finally learning more about the rabbit himself, it makes total sense that Ribbit's story would be revealed alongside his, since those two are clearly tied together by a deep emotional bond. All these facts and coincidences almost scream that Ribbit has to show up, and now we just have to wait a bit longer. But remember how Pomni ended up in the digital circus, right? In case you forgot, it was 'cause of Kaufmo. She joined right after the clown abstracted, which means there can't be more than 6 people at once in the tent. So if we really think Ribbit's coming back in episode 6, it's only logical that someone else has to leave the circus. Unless, of course, he shows up as a mannequin. In that case, nothing changes. But let's imagine he's back as a frog. If that happens, someone from our usual crew will have to leave the digital circus, and I'm ruling out Zooble right away, because Gooseworx confirmed she'll be in all 9 episodes. It makes sense that Pomni, as the main character, has to stay in every episode too, and if we're talking about Ribbit coming back, it would be dumb to replace him with Jax, since his return would basically be for that purple rabbit's sake only. So we got 3 untouchable characters while Ragatha, Kinger, and Gangle are in the danger zone. And that actually makes sense if we just take a look at each of them, but let's go through them one by one. And I think it'd be right to start with Ragatha. You might say episode 6 is going to be about not just Jax, but her too. And I totally agree with you, but we can't really predict when Ribbit will come back. It could be anywhere from the middle of episode 6 to the final scene. Now let me explain why Ragatha might turn into an abstracted monster. From the start, we saw this character was kind of strange, even though she seemed super positive.
Don't freak out about it or anything, but, we don't exactly...
You can't.
There was still this vibe that she was kind of pushy and not totally honest with everyone. All her actions seemed just about getting some praise or approval, and episode 3 showed that pretty clearly. We won't really consider episode 4 since she was basically under the influence of stupid sauce and didn't control her actions, but you could say it just gave us a little glimpse of her true self. Episode 5, though, was the clearest example because we learned all the reason behind Ragatha's behavior and finally saw that she's not the cheerful girl she wanted to seem. Her past haunts her like a heavy burden she can't shake off, and the main cause of this is her mother, who wanted to make her perfect and obedient, and in the end, it all turned into this. Ragatha literally loses it when she sees Pomni starting to talk to Jax and realizing she can't do anything about it. Slowly, all her emotions come pouring out, and for the first time, we see her true rage.
Act like you never do anything wrong and everybody loves you, when in reality you just f*** everything up for everyone else!
And the final scene is like the cherry on top because it perfectly shows this character's total emotional exhaustion.